The Quiet Guest. The Quiet Guest. Chapter 1. The Flawless Suicide. Autumn rain poured over Seattle, smearing the city lights into watery blurs outside the high-rise window. In her modern, soulless apartment in Bellevue, Anna Wright tried to read, but the words from the hardcover novel kept slipping away. The air was filled with a silence, broken only by the steady tap of rain on the terrace. The sudden doorbell made her flinch. No one visited her this late. Cautiously approaching the door, she looked through the electronic peephole. The corridor outside her apartment was empty, lit by the cold glow of LED lights. A delivery guy at the wrong door, she thought. But as she turned away, a sound drifted from nowhere. An old crackly jazz standard, My Funny Valentine, played by a lone trumpet, the very record he always played. An icy shiver ran down her spine. She didn't own a record player. The music was in her head, swelling, filling her consciousness. Then the air filled with a sweet, nauseating smell of almonds, the scent of cyanide she recognized from detective novels. Her gaze fell on the console table in the hallway. A thick, cream-colored envelope lay there. It hadn't been there a minute ago. With trembling fingers, she opened it. A perfect, calligraphic handwriting spelled out words that froze her blood. "You are a flawed brushstroke on the canvas of existence. I will correct it. You will want to correct it yourself. Take the knife." It was the most reasonable, most logical proposition she had ever heard. A wave of calm, cosmic clarity washed over her. Obediently, she took her Japanese sashimi knife from the block on the kitchen counter. The cold handle fit perfectly in her palm. She walked to the panoramic window, ready to draw the razor-sharp blade across her wrist. And in that moment, a heavy crystal award presented to her former therapist, Dr. Rayner, crashed to the floor with a deafening roar. The sound of shattering glass cut through the hypnotic music like a knife through silence. The spell broke. Anna woke up on her knees amongst the shards, clutching the deadly knife, with thin, bloody lines on her wrists. She hadn't finished. The music stopped. Chapter 2. The Threat from the Past. FBI Special Agent Mark Donovan felt like a wrung-out dish rag. His office in the Federal Building in downtown Seattle was buried in case files. 4 files. 4 flawless suicides across Washington state. Successful ones. And one, a 5th, the file on Anna Wright, an IT analyst at Amazon. The failed one, the imperfect one. And therefore, the key. His thoughts were interrupted by a call to his personal cell.
"Donovan!"
He barked into the phone. On the other end, ragged breathing.
"It's Anna Wright. He was here."
Mark tensed instantly.
"Who? Where are you?"
At home. I saw him outside, across the street, under a black umbrella. He was just staring.
"Don't move. I'm on my way."
Her Bellevue apartment seemed sterile and lifeless to Mark, like a showroom display. Anna, pale, in an expensive but rumpled tracksuit, looked completely shattered.
He left something. In your mailbox, I think. I saw him approach it.
She whispered. Mark went down to the first floor. In his mailbox, amongst pizza flyers and catalogs, lay a single envelope of heavy paper. No stamp, no address, just his last name. Donovan. He opened it right there under the bright LED lights. Inside was a photograph. His daughter Sarah, in her bright yellow jacket, was walking out of the school gates, laughing with a friend. The photo was taken today, just a few hours ago. An icy wave washed down Mark's spine. He turned the picture over. On the back, in dark blue ink, the same calligraphic handwriting spelled out, "Your canvas is almost complete. The next stroke is mine to make." Mark leaned his forehead against the cold metal of the mailboxes, trying to control the rage and fear suddenly overwhelming him. A threat to his child. This crossed every line. This was no longer just a case. This was war. Back in the apartment, he didn't show Anna the photo. He saw her condition.
He will come back for you.
Mark said quietly.
For him, you are unfinished business. A mistake that needs correction. You're the only one who saw him and survived. Your memory is the key. We need to find it.
Chapter 3. The Hypnotist's Shadow. They sat in his official Chevrolet Suburban, parked in a dark alley on Queen Anne Hill. The rain hadn't let up. Mark knew time was running out. The artist had already made his next move.
Anna, you have to remember.
His voice was sharper than he intended.
Not the face. Details, sounds, sensations.
I can't.
Her voice rose, almost to a scream.
Only fragments. The umbrella. A black umbrella. And a hand. On the little finger. A signet ring. With a dark blue stone. A sapphire, I think.
Mark froze. A sapphire. That detail had been in the initial witness report, but was dismissed.
Do you know anyone with a ring like that?
He asked, trying to sound calmer. Anna squeezed her eyes shut, pressing herself into the leather seat. Suddenly, her face twisted in realization.
Dr. Rayner, my former therapist. He had a ring like that. He crossed boundaries. I stopped seeing him a year ago.
The puzzle pieces slammed together. A narcissistic hypnotist, unable to accept rejection. Deciding not just to kill, but to rewrite a personality, to erase a disobedient patient and create a new perfect one. Revenge as a perfectionist's art. At that moment, his service phone vibrated. A text from his partner, Lisa. Just 2 words. Mark, almonds. His heart dropped. He immediately dialed her number. No answer. He called the field office.
Donovan, where's Peterson?
Lisa? She left an hour ago from the operational meeting. Home, I guess.
Find her. Now. Check her garage, her apartment.
His voice cracked into a shout. He rushed for the door, turning back to Anna, who was white as a sheet.
Stay here. Don't go anywhere. Don't open the door to anyone.
But it was already too late. Half an hour later, his phone rang. Lisa Peterson had been found in her Ford Explorer in the garage of her Redmond home. The engine was running, the door locked from the inside. On the passenger seat lay a suicide note. In the same handwriting. Just 3 words. Another flawed brush stroke. Chapter 4. Correcting the error. Dr. Rayner's office was in a prestigious medical center on Spring Street. The building was deserted that evening. Mark, flashing his FBI badge, got the key from a nervous administrator. Inside, the office was perfectly, sterilely clean. Expensive furniture, books in perfect rows, not a single paper out of place on the desk. The air smelled of expensive wood and faint cologne. Nothing felt like a doctor's office. It was a lair. Anna stood on the threshold, pale, unable to step inside.
I can't.
She whispered.
You have to.
Mark said softly but firmly.
This is the only way to stop him. Remember everything. What did he say? What did he do?
She took a step inside, then another. Her gaze slid to the chair she'd sat in 100 times.
He always sat like this.
Her voice was hollow, detached.
So the light from the window would fall on my face, and his would be in shadow. And he would move this ring, back and forth, and say that my fears were just paint, and he was the artist, and he could rewrite them.
Suddenly she turned sharply to the bookshelf.
Here, there was another book, thick, in a leather binding. It's gone.
Mark walked to the shelf. A clear, dust-free rectangle marked the spot where a book had recently been removed. And at that moment, a quiet, calm voice, familiar enough to give Anna chills, spoke from the doorway.
Observational skills are commendable. Pity you developed them so late.
Standing in the doorframe, silhouetted by the light from the hall, was him, Dr. Rayner. Tall, imposing, in an impeccably tailored suit, a slight, condescending smile played on his lips. On his little finger, the same signet ring with a sapphire. In his hand, held loosely at his side, was a pistol fitted with a suppressor.
An excellent analysis, Agent Donovan.
His velvety voice was poisonously calm.
You've pieced it together almost perfectly. A shame it won't help you. You're about 5 minutes too late.
Mark turned slowly toward him, instinctively shielding Anna.
Rayner, it's over. Half the city knows about you by now. Give it up.
Oh, naivety.
Rayner smirked.
They've been looking for me for a year. And you were never here. You, grief-stricken over your partner's death, came here in a desperate attempt to find clues and committed suicide. Rather cliché, but effective.
He took a step forward. The pistol was now aimed directly at Mark.
Anna!
He called, and his voice suddenly took on metallic, hypnotic tones.
You remember what to do. Come to me.
Anna's face went waxen, her gaze glassy. She took a step, then another, moving like a sleepwalker.
Anna, no! Fight it!
Mark shouted, but she didn't seem to hear him. Rayner looked at Mark with triumphant cruelty.
And you, Agent, get a final session. Look at my ring. Watch how the light plays in it. You feel your eyelids getting heavy. You're tired, so tired. You want to let go. Your hand reaches for the gun at your hip.
Mark felt a wave of warm apathy wash over him. Rayner's voice was so convincing. His hand actually began moving toward his holster. And in that moment, Anna, passing a heavy floor lamp, suddenly swayed and crashed into it with all her weight. The glass shade shattered with an ear-splitting crash. The hypnotic connection broke for a split second. That second was enough. Mark, shaking his head clear, lunged forward. He drove his shoulder into Rayner's chest with all his force, slamming him to the floor. The pistol skittered from the hypnotist's grip and slid under the desk. A blind, furious struggle erupted on the floor. Rayner was strong and fought desperately. His fingers clawed at Mark's throat. Darkness crept into Mark's vision. Nearby, Anna was trying to pull Rayner off. With his last strength, Mark drove his knee into Rayner's chest and delivered a short, sharp chop to the throat with the edge of his hand. Rayner gagged, his grip loosening. A second blow, to the temple, finally subdued him. Mark, breathing heavily, crawled away from him. Anna sat on the floor nearby, covered in tears, but they were tears of relief, real and conscious. Outside, growing closer and closer, sirens wailed. The backup Mark had called on his way was here. He looked at Anna, at her tear-streaked face.
It's over.
He rasped.
You did it. You were stronger than him.
She slowly looked up at him and gave a weak smile.
I remember his face.
She said quietly.
Now I'll remember everything.
The door to the office burst open with a crash, flooding the room with FBI agents in tactical vests. The nightmare was finally over.